This is definitely Yerushalmi Ma'asros in the article Oz Bahar Yishma Daf Lamed Zayin Amud Aleph. The third line down, there's the two dots. Tani Shevetz Shazor Yerek in the Vilna. It's one dot. It's on Chaf Amud Aleph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines to the bottom. Tani Shevetz. Today is the 100th Yartzeit of Rabbi Abraham Eliezer Kaplan. That's how Chusio Gain Eleno. My picture is up there. And he was a role model for me. He continues to be a role model in many respects, especially in her chavas, kavulos, halimud, and learning things like Yerushalmi. So continue to be a role model for me. So the Gemara says, Tani. We learned in a Raisa, this Tani. It seems that all the versions have this Tani here. The article, it's Tanya. I mean, the Kabbalah, it's Tanya. And there's a header here, Rabbi Lezer Mar Sheves Chuli. Anyway, Sheves, Shazor Yerek. Sheves, I think he said it's something called rockets in the Mishnah. Anise. No, sorry, anise. So, Sheves. Zara, you show the Yerek planted for the purpose of the vegetable. Because that's Zera. I'm sorry. Zera. Planted for the purpose of the seed. It says Zera, but it says Yerek. The Maisa comes up according to the seeds, and the Yerek is exempt. Zara, the Yerek will be planted for vegetables. It says Zera v'Yerek. Zera is still the primary, and it's seed. This seed is still the primary crop, but you also do Maisa on the Yerek. The enemy says zirin, the of the branches. Zara zirin, if the branches somehow, the shoots, or I guess when the form of shoots, they're still edible, and you use them, so you plant for the purpose of these shoots. It says zera v'yarek v'zirin. All three have to be meisered, lock, stock, and barrel. V'tninon, we learn. We learned that only cress and rocket are messiahs, both the zera and the yerek. So that's our Mishnah. So can you must need some? No, there's a Mishnah say there's nothing which is planted for zera, and and it's plant for seed, and you still have to take meiser off the vegetables. And despite the fact you only plant for seed, but there are many other things could be, including the anise, where if you plant for the purpose of the yerek, then you take the meiser off the yerek as well. Okay, then the next part of the Mishnah, I'm talking about tomorrow shel tilson, shel chaydo v'shaful halavan, that they're chayiv in meiser. And I said it's Slavis and Messiah, so tomorrow it's Chafrizin. Here I said only the Yonis and Messiah because they're the pre. So then when I asked, plegan? Do they argue? The Gamliel and Chamin seem to argue with him. They hold that the tomorrows are potter, the shoots are potter. So is that the case? Says Gemara says, B'shazor lezera. It's all about when you planted for the purpose of the seed, whether it's the mustard or the white bean. I guess they also called white bean. They're primarily planted for the seed. So then Chacham hold the yerek is potter. But if it's planted for the purpose of the vegetables, after Rabbanan moedim im Rabbanan moedeh, you're chayiv and meiser. So Tanya came learned also in a brayso. There's a Tosefta, Pregim a brayso zayin, that Chacham are chayiv with the yerek, and evidently kav chomer on the shoots. Tanke noakim based sonin. They the minute in based sonin, which the Kabbalah says is the bashon, which is the Golan, that area, so that biyark and heter, that the vegetable of mustard and some of the things are not required to be meiser. But of course, the seed has to be meisered. So, Lomar Ela Divrei Rabbi Elazar. That's only Rabbi Elazar. He's Das Yachid. Avol Divrei Rabbi Elazar. Avol Divrei Akol Chayev. But Gamliel Chachamim hold it's chayev if you plant for the purpose of vegetables, obviously. Okay, so the way it comes out here is if you're zorea it for zera, everybody agrees that the vegetables potter. There's a part is even you plant for vegetables, it's like butler diets of color. Vegetable part still potter message. Gamliel's machai, even you plant for the purpose of zera, that the even vegetables, even then, potted, even if you plant just the potted the vegetable, you plant for the purpose of zera. If you also plant for the purpose of zera, then it's the yerk is also chayv meisus. Tiny look at puva soira, the legumes and barley, vatilsa and fenugreek, shazan lezera, yerk, you plant their vegetables, but ledaito. Their vegetables are meaningless. I don't know what kind of vegetable barley has. It seems to me it has barley. And barley is a vegetable. See if there's something Felix stuff was on this. Yes, he does. So Professor Felix says, so Erim, so Livneshi, he says he stopped the barley before it becomes a stalk. Give Olev, Alev, its young shoots and leaves. To Imim Tzas, a little bit tasty. Yeshel Yochum Kerek. And some people do eat him as a vegetable. Still some tzemach hachilbe, hayarok. The Arabic fenugreek is chilbe. So itim ochlos tamila ba'odam rakikam. Sometimes they would eat the pods when they were still young and soft. So he says that on them the plan for yer but ladaita, because it's not it's some people do it, but it's not a customary normal way of eating. Yes, so there's a discussion here in the footnote. He says, okay, that's good for barley and for fenugreek. What's difficult in terms of legumes, because their pods are very good to eat. It says that place they didn't eat it. They didn't eat those young seeds because of the machla of fabism, which comes from Lashon faber, which is the Latin name of the bean, fava bean. And he says that there are people who are they have this disease called fabism. What do I know? Okay. Never heard of that disease, but he knows better than me. Anyway, be it as it may, let's go further. So so we said he's butler daita, right? Zarchayev Yergam Potter. The pool, the pool Zara Tilson, the Daitsu put the plant for Yerk. Rabbi Eliezer said, Odi Rabbi Eliezer. He said that he says, no, only Rabbi Eliezer Potters no matter what. Even in these things. But according to Rabbanan, if you plant for the purpose of Yerk, it's not both Daitsu their Chayv. Okay, now I have here on the Kavanaki header, Rabbi Eliezer met Slaf V'chulei. Could be this also in the other versions. Amar Shmuel said, Kafras, the caper, Osor Mishum Klipa. So the kafras is we said the flowers. The usher because they are peels, and peels evidently is a shomer of the pri, and the shomer of pri is part of the pri, and therefore it's usher be'orla, subject to orla. The Tanakh was the rice about them as pilos as pilos or the food is orla. Dabashu orel. It's pretty interesting drasha. Something which makes which orel, like an orla covers the aver, something which covers the fruit. Rav Mafki the Bay Rabbi Isay. Rav directed those in the house of Rabbi Isay. Rabbi Nuna Mafki l'Chavra. Rabbi Nuna directed the Chavra, assuming Yeshiva. Teva Mafki no Sheikhim. Tell your wives. Karinun Kavshin Hadak B'Kafrisa, when they are pickling these capers. The Marimin Lilain Bitnisa. They should remove the fruit which has a problem of orla, but not the kafrisin. Because the flowers are okay. The orla is only the fruit. not the show, not the we don't. It doesn't make this Russia. By the time or Davish Orla is period, they're not considered to be Orla. So the Amray Ba said, as Rabbi Zira explained why. Called clipping gedelos in all peels which are subject to orla are grow together with the fruits. Is that pre malon clipping the way it's structured in the caper tree? It's the flowers on the bottom and the peels on top. So that is considered to be not a standard form of a shomer, which we have in orla. And I'm sure there's a picture of a caper back here somewhere, but we'll leave it for now. We'll take it on trust. Tani learned that kafas v'atmoros min echodein. The kafas, the flowers, and the shoots are one min, and you made them nafkinas to make a bracha bar priyadama. Umaisa min kafas v'atmoros, they maisa from kafas and tmoros, and the tmoros are kafas. Avalo mehen avyonos, but not avyonos, which is actual fruit, which is actually a bar priyatz. They're not the same meaning. Not from the Avionis on them as well. Avionis, let's check what I'm up to here. Avionis, nothing aleim chumrei ilam chumrei zorim. Avionis of the kafras, we could give them the chumrah of the tree and the chumrah of a zorim. What lied on mila for what purposes? If it's the second year going to the third year, mafresh, you gotta set it aside as meiser, but of course the meiser sheni meiser oni. And there's the mafresh podeu, you set aside. It was time meiser sheni, then you redeem it, but no so oni. So if it budded before Tu B'Shvat the second year and was harvested after Rosh Hashanah of the third year, so it's a suffix whether it's a fruit and it goes after Tu B'Shvat, or if it's a vegetable, goes after Rosh Hashanah. In other words, goes after the Chanota or after the Lakita. And fruit follows Tu B'Shvat, and grains and vegetables go after Rosh Hashanah. So since it's a Mesupach and it budded before Tu B'Shvat of the second year, and only harvested after Rosh Hashanah of the third year, so then as Chumrah Ma'aser Sheni and the Chumrah of Ma'aser Ani both. Time we learned that Slav, the capers, the Yerushalmi Kilayim B'Kerem, they are Kilayim with a Kerem. He's not sure if it's Slav as a halacha of a tree which wouldn't be Kilayim, or a vegetable would be Kilayim. So he says it is Kilayim by Ukati Macher Kilay Kerem. I assume it is Kilayim. Bein Kilayim is right, but not Kilayim by vegetables or by seeds. So the Zorim not apply. And it's interesting because it looks like a tree, it looks independent. And even if it was a vegetable, it's going to be a problem because Kilei Zroim, everything has to do with Marasayin, as we know from Sel's Kilayim. So therefore, it wouldn't be a problem. That shot is from the Chaznish. But some Kilayim lo b'kerem v'lo b'zroim. It's a tree. So it's not Kilayim either by a tree, and not by kerem, nor by Zroim. Everybody agrees that it's the it's chayv in orla, meaning the fruit of the caper tree is chayv orla. So this is going on the general idea. What's a tree and what's vegetable? Anything which rises up from the trunk. That, in other words, that the branches come up from the leaves come up from the trunk above ground. It's considered to be tree. Mishrashav comes up from the branches come up from the roots, meaning which is like a banana tree, meaning the other type of vegetable. So when they ask what do you mean cabbage? The shoots come off of the trunk. So he says, and the chayr should ever be a fruit. It says kambari kambasafa. He says that which comes out of the roots is definitely a vegetable. That which comes out of the trunk, it's sometimes a tree and sometimes a vegetable. Halacha, after the way we define it based on the Bavli, in Brachos, of course, is that if after you remove the fruit, that same trunk produces more fruit, then it's a tree. If that same trunk does not produce more fruit, then it's a vegetable. So just to end up with a picture where we probably should start with the picture. That's a caper. That's a caper over there. And you can see based on the key that number 1 is tomorrow's, number 2 is a kafrisin, number 3 is a perach, and number 4 is Levionis. Stop here for today.